talked about working to get better and continue to talk about that. We're not going to back down on what we're trying to do. It's hard, it's difficult, but there's nothing easy about this game.
The Commanders' comeback bid falls short against the Titans. We take a look back at Washington's Week 5 performance. Rookie running back Brian Robinson Jr. made his much-anticipated season debut. He joins us to discuss his return to the field. And with a short week ahead, we send Logan Paulsen and Santana Moss into the film room to focus on the offensive side of the ball. And welcome on into Command Center, Julie Donaldson, Logan Paulsen, and Santana Moss. Okay, 4 straight losses. It was ugly. It was devastating at the end. But here's the thing, gentlemen. It's a short week. Thursday night, you have Chicago. Got to put it behind you quickly.
Absolutely, and I think it's great that it comes on a short week. Yeah. This is a tough loss to a tough opponent. Let's flush that game and get on to the next one. No time to even think about it.
I love short weeks, especially after losses, because you get a chance now to get that bad taste out your mouth. These guys get a chance to go out there and do it Thursday. Let's get to it.
The bodies will probably be sore, but there's not much time. You got to take care of it as quickly as you can. They will be going through walkthroughs. They will be going through practice. And then Wednesday, they're on their way to Chicago for some Thursday night football. All right. The team had to look at the film. We have to look at it as well. One more time here. Commanders trying to put it into a 3-game skid ahead of the short week against the Titans here. First play from scrimmage, Montez Sweat had a game, sacks Ryan Tannenhill, 1 of 2 on the day for him. Santana.
That's how you do it, Montez. No sweat. Let me get my first sack.
Well, this is tough, man. That's the weakest point in the protection, the tight end blocking. And when you have a guy like Montez, take advantage of that matchup right there. You're bigger, stronger, faster.
They end up with 5 sacks on the day. Titans would get on the board first, though. Screen pass to Dontrell Hilliard. He gets in from 14 yards out.
Yeah, nice little sneaky screen play there by Tennessee. Well executed.
Second quarter, 7-3 now. Carson Wentz showing off his arm. Oh, my goodness. Up top to De'Ami Brown. Hangs on, keeps his feet right underneath him. 75-yard TD.
Well, the DB computer malfunctioned, and De'Ami Brown was in the end zone. Look at it.
Great play by De'Ami, man. 6. Holy cow. Nice to see that from him.
Yes, Lord.
That is what we have been wanting, right? Taking the most of his opportunities there. Late second on 3rd down. Sweat has Tannenhill in his grasp, but somehow gets the throw off. It is a Titans first down.
Oh my gosh, that's one of those plays that's so maddening. That could have been a sack, punt right there, tough down.
Later in the series, Derrick Henry bowling his way in from a yard out. That's what he does.
Hey, man, for the most part, man, our defense held up pretty good, but they couldn't get him that time.
Second half, Wentz to Brown again, this time 30 yards out, and it's a one-handed grab.
I love that Carson checks that play, sees the man, gets to a man beater, and finds the guy with the speed. And Tana, what about that catch right there?
I mean, one hand, he said that's the easy side. He's left-handed.
17-14, next Titans drive. Tannenhill going deep and connects with Nick Westbrook-Akina. That's good for 61.
It's been the story of our season. We always so close. Montez was just so close right there. We still got the ball off and made a big play.
And then it's Henry. Once again, second touchdown.
Again, he's a dominant rusher. Great performance by him.
No answers for that.
Yeah.
All right, so same score now. Late in the 4th, Wentz to Curtis Samuel gets out of bounds, but the refs, they call forward progress, so that forces Washington to use a timeout. That would be costly.
Yeah, the flag should have been thrown anyway. The ref was down. He couldn't even see.
Yeah.
All right, so same drive. Wentz looking for Terry McLaurin. Pass interference in the end zone. Finally, he gets a call, and it puts the ball at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, nice to get one of these to go our way, Tanner. We've been talking about this for weeks now. Like, they've been really handsy with Terry. Nice to get the call.
Okay, we have 3 tries. Here it is. The first one. Floats one. Nearly kicked off out of bounds. Where's he going?
I almost had a heart attack right there.
Do that, Carson.
Okay, second chance. Wentz to J.D. McKissick, but that's incomplete.
Yeah, this is tough, man. They're playing drop 8, really tight throwing windows, trying to get it in there. Really tough, though, against that defensive structure.
And you don't have the timeout, so you got to throw it. Can't run it. 3rd down. Wentz picked off here. David Long Jr. That's the ball game.
Tough situation, man. I wish we would have used both of those chances that we had, but we didn't. He tried to fit it in there and cost us the game.
And, well, we would have had another down, but that's how the game ends. The Commanders drop a heartbreaker, 21-17. Now, Derrick Henry finished the afternoon with a season-high 28 rush attempts for 102 of Tennessee's 105 rushing yards. We knew he would be a force coming into this game. And for Washington, De'Ami Brown made the most of his 2 receptions, coming in with Jahan Dotson out, finding the end zone on both of his catches. But the last-second interception, it leaves a very bad taste in Washington's mouth.
Tough, very frustrating, obviously an bit of an emotional roller coaster there. You know, you're feeling very confident in your ability to go down and moving the ball, converting converge down the field, and we get first and goal from the 2, and you're thinking, all right, we got this. We got a couple chances here, and hats off to them. They made a couple good plays, and it's frustrating. It's definitely frustrating, and kind of stings a little bit extra just because I thought we had it there.
We got to find a way to get that in the end zone. It was a great job executing the 2-minute drive to get it down there in scoring position, but if you don't get it in, it's really for naught. So, that's something that as an offense we have to find a way to get the ball in the end zone to win the game. That's all you can ask for in that situation, and we fell short. So we definitely have to do a better job finishing that drive. But I was happy the way we at least got it down there, but it don't really matter for much after that.
Got to keep growing. It doesn't matter what we think. You only are who we are on the field, and right now we're a 1-4 ball club, and until we change it, that's all we'll be.
It is time for our mission debrief, brought to you by the Washington Times. Santana, let me start with you on this one. Look, they had their chances. They took that drive and executed it, getting down to the field. They have their 3 opportunities, and it just ends on a heartbreaker of an interception. What did you see? What did you want to see on that final drive?
What I would like to see a draw too, being displayed, through one of those series of plays. But it's just one of those situations, man. The offensive coordinator called what he thought was best. And when you look at the defense, they were sitting there just, waiting, because they was like, hey, I'm not going to rush anybody at you. We're going to rush our normal 2, 3, or 4 guys, and we're going to drop everybody back, back in coverage. And it just made it hard for Carson to find lanes, to find any holes to get the ball through.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, in that situation, everyone knows no timeouts, 19 seconds left. They're going to take multiple shots at the end zone in the air. And again, that really restricts what you feel comfortable calling as a coordinator, right? Because you can't take too much time. Usually how you score points against that drop 8 coverage is you kind of have the quarterback buy time, scramble out a little bit, but the clock is against you. It's a tough situation. We'd like to see them get that done, get the W.
It's definitely frustrating, and it's easy to go over the tape and say, okay, he should have gone to the other side of the field maybe on that. You wouldn't have had, because you had the extra defender that comes in and takes the INT for you, and you would have had another chance because it was third down, so you still could have had it, but that is how it's going in this game.
Shoulda, coulda, but...
we did question going into the game with Jahan Dotson being out, because he's somebody they really relied on, especially in the red zone, to be able to make some plays. De'Ami Brown really stepped up Santana.
Yeah, he stepped up big, and that's what I want to see from this receiver core. It's great to sit here and be enamored about those top 3 guys. Dotson, Terry, and your man Samuels. But you need those other guys like Sims and like Brown to come in and be able to be useful as well. Teams are going to try to take those other guys out of the game at times. So when you're subbing guys in and out for breathers here and there, you need to be sure that you got a guy that's capable of making those kind of plays. So I'm so happy that Brown was able to go out there and do so.
It has to be good for his confidence, for the confidence of the quarterback in him, for them to be able to put him in those moments, because we've seen times where, like, if you make it, it's a TD. This time it was 2 times in the game, which was great. But once again, it comes down to self-inflicted wounds. The penalties, once again. 9 for 71 yards, Logan.
Yeah, 9 for 71 yards, but also I think they come at really inopportune times. I think this team is not skilled enough. They're not dexterous enough to overcome some of these self-inflicted wounds, right? Anytime it's 1st and 15, it's almost like, man, like you feel as a fan, you feel as an observer that the drive is over already. Yeah. So that's why it's with the margin for error that this offense has, that this team has, those penalties need to really stop, and they need to get that taken care of as soon as possible.
Offensive line?
Yeah, we having problems. We having little problems here and there, and it's I think they're very fixable, And one of the things that me and Logan both mentioned probably a week ago is just scheming up things to bring in tighter packages or coverages, or allowing our guys to have better protection when it comes into double tight ends or different formations. So hopefully we can solve that problem, because I think we can't run our offense or be ourselves without those guys up front.
You have to go as the offensive line goes, so they'll be quick to try and figure out what can we do ahead of Thursday night. Now, if we do take one of the bright spots from this, well, that would be Brian Robertson Jr. in his return. All the emotions with him getting back there on the field after a wild 6 weeks. He's going to join us to discuss his return next. And the offense, they made some big plays against the Titans, but the margin for error in the NFL is really small. We're going to send Logan and Santana into the film room to break down the offensive side of the ball. After 6 weeks away. Commanders rookie running back Brian Robinson Jr. made his regular season debut on Sunday. And after everything that he has gone through in such a short time, the stats seem irrelevant compared to the ovation he received pregame from the fans. Being the last one out of the tunnel, having your name called, what were the emotions and that moment like for you?
It was very emotional. I just didn't want to find myself crying about it at the time, you know. Man, it's been a long 6 weeks, man. I don't think it's really hard to kind of talk about sometimes because like ever since just the videos and stuff been dropped since yesterday, you know, social media just kind of been going crazy about it, and you know, I just see it over and over again, and it's just, you just see how much love and respect, you know, people got for me out here, and you know, people that feel the situation that I've been through, man. You know, just for it to be me, I'm just like, God, this couldn't happen to anybody, and it's like, man, if anybody, the worst person this possibly could have happened to, it could have been me. Like, just because of just everything I've been through in my life to get here, and like staying away from gun violence and stuff like that goes on very often at home, back at home, and you know, what happened to me was just so random, you know. So to be able to recover from what I recovered from and be able to come back and play an NFL football game, I ain't never heard nobody in the world ever did nothing like that before. So
I imagine you probably asked yourself the question, like, why me? Just listening to you right there. How have you processed going through all those emotions and answering why me and being, as you say, mentally tough? I know there have to be moments that you're probably just not, and you have to acknowledge and recognize that in order to be mentally tough. How have you gone about processing that?
I just had to accept it, you know. I had to accept what happened, you know, even though I didn't want to. I didn't want to accept the fact that, you know, I was physically harmed by some strangers, but just the fact that, you know, I could make the strongest recovery ever and one of the biggest comebacks in sports history possibly, and you know, just another obstacle for me, you know, in my life, man. I just, like I told you, I've been faced with so much in my life, and every time I've just had my back against the wall, I've just fought my way up out of it. And like I said, like, this is by far the worst situation I've ever been in, but another opportunity to kind of prove to myself, you know how strong I am, you know, mentally and physically. So the biggest thing, you know, just as far as processing it right now is just accepting the fact that, you know, I was physically harmed by strangers, you know, that I still haven't identified yet, and the fact that I got to just live with that the rest of my life, you know.
How important has that support been? Because nobody gets through anything or any challenges alone in life.
And the support meant everything, you know. As soon as I started to feel the love and from everybody, I started to, you know, believe that, you know, I would be okay.
Let's now take a look at Washington's offensive numbers from Sunday. The Commanders recorded a season-high 342 passing yards, but they were held to just 43 yards on the ground. Washington just 1 for 11 on third down against Tennessee, but they did have 6 plays of at least 20 yards. Now, for more on their performance Sunday, we go inside the film room.
Julie, thanks so much. Tana, I get all these questions from fans about why is the offense struggling, what's going on, and I think it's multifactorial, but I also think there's a lot of plays that are left out there on the field, right? So this is play number 37. This team, Tennessee Titans, are in quarters coverage, right? They got quarters of the field here, really simple coverage. They run quarters, they ran cover 3, they ran Tampa 2. You know what they're going to do, nothing overly complex. And I love this play call by Scott Turner here because they do a great job of maximizing their route concepts versus quarters. And people say, why is this good versus quarters? And I say, Tana, these in cuts force these DBs to match these ends, and it leaves all this space open.
Green grass.
Yeah, green grass, right, exactly right. So you're ensuring that this post versus outside leverage, let's take a look, outside leverage can win over the top and have no fear of one of these defenders falling off. It's a really well-designed play, knowing what the team can do against you, right?
Yep.
And so take a look. I mean, this is great. This is your boy 8 to the 9 right here, carrying on the legacy, right?
Yeah.
And how, like, as a receiver, like, that's that's open.
That's
to
money.
me,
That's
right?
money. I mean, one of the things you're going to see before that, and I don't want to cut you off, is that you know, and by me knowing as a receiver, it's quarters.
Right.
The only thing is in my head is that this guy, falling off.
This backside guy, right?
And that's why it's very important for this guy to, carry out his route and make sure that he gets this guy to bite up, or make sure that he feels like he's threatened to be beaten on that route, so he can try to cover him the best way he can.
Absolutely. So I see this, I say, this is great. This is great process. But why are we not scoring a touchdown here, Tana? And it's because of the protection, right?
The little things.
And it's the little things, right? I think you look at this, and they ran a whole bunch of different protections, but obviously our guy Norwell loses on this rep, and it forces Carson's eyes off the downfield concept, right? Because right now, looks like he's ready to cock back and throw this football, right? And I think fans need to understand, this play is there.
Yeah.
It's open right now, and it doesn't look open, but I'm trusting this guy to get past this and score a touchdown here. And again, it's really frustrating, but this is how close it is. Yeah. This is the margin for error this team has in terms of scoring points. Because I think if he doesn't score, that's definitely a big play.
No doubt.
And why do I think that? It's not like that I'm clairvoyant.
Yeah.
It's they ran this play earlier in the game with a different protection. It's the same exact play.
Yeah.
It's the same exact coverage. Say, oh, Logan, why is he up here? You can run quarters from up here, right? Press the corners, bail out. He's going to, so let's just talk about this real quick. He's going to bail. He's going to match number 2, who's this guy right here in the backfield. Going to match Bates. Bates blocks. He gets caught in no man's land. These guys get stuck on the in cuts, right? Again, same exact thing as before. And our guy Diami works excellent job in terms of just being fast.
Yeah.
You said something to me about this man's speed.
Nah, he showed his speed. We haven't seen this, I guess, yet on this level, because he haven't really been making these kind of plays yet in the league. But for his first touchdown, he showed us what we really, drafted last year.
Absolutely. Just a guy who can make this type. It reminds me a little bit of Aldrick Robinson back in the day, right? But again, the concept is good. It's the same exact concept on the Kansas City. So what's the difference, Tana? Let's take
Protection,
a look.
baby.
It's the protection, baby. And I love it, Tana, right? Because what you do here is this is the key piece in my opinion, right? And this is a protection they run. They run a little play action pass going this way off the formation here. It gets this linebacker here to bite up on the action. Not super big deal, but just a little window dressing. But it also allows Bates, our man right here, to help out on the interior pass rush.
Yeah.
Where was their best players on their defensive line?
Yeah, in the interior.
Interior, right?
Yep.
So now, because of this, you get 2 double teams. You get a double team here, and you get a double team here. And you secure their best players with more hats on the body. And I love this. I love this kind of this game plan philosophy, because we always talk about Kyle Shanahan needing to provide hitches for the quarterback. I see Carson get back here, and look at this pocket, Tana. Look at this space here, right?
Ample
love
time,
that. And then watch his footwork. Watch how he can just sit up here, take a little hitch, right? Hitch again, and
Launch
then
the cannon.
Everyone talks about his arm strength. Let you actualize your arm strength there. I love that. And so to me, that's the margin for error. Let's let this play. Let's watch this touchdown. Again, Diami, I mean, that's a tough catch. Catching it kind of falling away. That's something you've done a whole bunch in your career, right?
Yeah, it was really tough.
And so when I see that, I think that is how close it is, right? They're so close in a lot of these situations. Protection, routes, concepts, it's all there. Short week. I can't wait to find out.
In honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the Washington Commanders Charitable Foundation is selling a limited edition Command the Cure t-shirt to promote breast cancer awareness and support local women battling breast cancer. T-shirts are $30 each, and net proceeds from the t-shirt sales go towards helping support breast cancer patients and research. Visit commanders.com/BCA shirt to get yours while supplies last. Still to come, Commanders defensive end Montez Sweat recorded not only his first but second sack of the season on Sunday. We take a look back at the top performers before turning our attention to the Bears. We are back, and we are taking another tough look at the loss to the Titans on Sunday. We're going to just start this one right here in the third quarter. Carson Wentz has a 30-yard strike to De'Ami Brown. Absolutely amazing. His second of the game, 17-14 Commanders.
Nice choice taking advantage of coverage, and nice catch by Brown.
Titans respond, though. Derrick Henry gets his second touchdown of the game. It's 21-17.
Dude is an animal. They did a great job containing it for most of the day, but he's going to get his.
Oh, you knew he was going to run hard. Under 10 seconds left. A chance to win it for Washington, but Carson Wentz picked off by David Long Jr.
Went out swinging. I wish we had another play, but story of our lives right now.
Yeah, it is, because it's their fourth straight loss for Washington. 21-17 is the final. Here is a look at some of the better numbers for Washington. Montez Sweat, he recorded a pair of sacks. They come in bunches. His third career multi-sack game, and the second time he's recorded 2 sacks in the first half. Wide receiver De'Ami Brown's 75-yard score was the longest first career touchdown reception by a receiver for Washington since 1994. And linebacker Cole Holcomb matched his career high with 15 combined tackles to lead all defenders on Sunday. You talk about this. We heard some of the guys afterwards saying, look, you can look at all the bright spots. You can look at all the potential in the world. But as John Allen really pointed out, potential doesn't mean anything if you're not getting the W's. So you have to really put this one behind you quickly because just in a matter of days, you have Santana, the Chicago Bears on the horizon. What are the challenges for this week? And is it maybe a blessing that you don't have too much time to think about it?
It's a sort of a blessing, in disguise. I think you can look at it, that way. I think one of the things that I took from having these short weeks is that regardless of what you did that, whether it was Sunday or Monday night, you have a chance to rewrite that, especially if it's bad. This team is in dire need right now of a win. So hopefully they can get that taste out of their mouth immediately come Thursday night.
And Logan, look, obviously the routine is off this week.
Yeah.
The practice is going to be different than it normally would be.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a week that's more of a mental week, right? It's about getting your body right, making sure you get the recovery is huge, but also the mental preparation. All that's truncated this week in the short week. You're doing prep for Chicago today, which is not normally how that goes. So how quickly can the guys adjust to the game plan, adapt to the game plan, and embrace it and execute well on Thursday?
Santana, in a moment like this, is it more physical or mental for this team?
It's a little both. This game is more mental than it is physical. I think we all, you make it to this level using your God-given, ability, and some of us work hard to be here, who don't have the ability. But when you come into times like this where you're losing, you have to get out your head a little bit. I think you have to stop worrying about things that you cannot control and control the things that you can. I think a lot of these guys are going to turn on the tape and say, look, man, if I could have did this a little better or did that a little better, we would have a different outcome. So mentally, they need to get out of their heads. Physically, they got to go out there and just do their jobs.
Physically, get your body ready. Do not listen into talk radio, social media, everything. Put it all aside this
Don't
week.
listen to me or Logan.
Yeah,
No,
that's
as
right.
Simple
Don't do
said,
that.
just get back on the horse again. The way you get out of this is by winning. We'll see if that happens. Thanks for joining us on Command Center.